Hey guys, so today I'm here to do a wear test demo kind of first impressions video on the new Fenty Beauty line that just launched at Sephora. It is a Sephora exclusive. This brand was created by Rihanna, the pop singer or artist celebrity. So this is her line of makeup. I did pick up the foundation from the line, and I picked up one of her duo highlighters. So I'm super excited to wear test these and try them out for you guys. To start off with, the foundation, you get 1.08 fluid ounces, so actually a little more than your standard foundation, which is exactly 1 ounce. This is called the Pro Filt'r foundation. It's a soft matte, long wearing foundation. I think it's supposed to be medium to full coverage. It's buildable. I have mine here in the shade 140. This is like the third or fourth shade in, because guys, this foundation range has 40 different shades. And I know when Rihanna was talking about the brand, some videos that have been released, she wanted all women to feel included and that they could find a foundation in this brand. So the range of colors on this is phenomenal. 40 shades is insane. So if you are one of those girls that has trouble finding a foundation at the drugstore, be it pale, medium skin tone, dark skin tone, red, yellow undertone, whatever, I highly recommend giving this a shot just to see if you can find your shade. And you should definitely be able to find a shade in this foundation. It comes with a snap-on lid like this and a pump applicator. I have already applied it now. I'm filming this intro post-wear time actually. So you literally just pump it out. In the highlighter, you get exactly 7 grams. It's 3.5 grams per half. So each shade is 3.5 grams of product, which is actually quite a bit of product. And there's a really nice mirror here on the front, the opalescent top. So that is how much product you're getting in the highlighter. Both of these products retail for $34 a piece, which is not, the most expensive thing we've seen from Sephora, but it's not the cheapest either. It falls right there in the mid-range. You want to see how these products perform, I'm going to go ahead and jump into that part of the video. So we're going to go ahead and prime our face before we go in with the foundation, so there's no new variables in that. I just want to give the foundation the best chance it has, considering I use a primer normally every day. So we're in luck today because I actually have quite a few things I need to cover right through here. Thank you, hormonal breakouts. So we're just gonna take the foundation here. I'm gonna start with Come Through. Okay, that is a pump, so I'm going to start with 2, because that did not look like much. It's pretty runny. I can't even really tilt my hand. I'm just going to dot this on the face, and this is kind of what it looks like. I have a damper, it's not super damp, it's kind of damper, but not really wet, beauty blender, and I'm just going to use that to kind of blend this out on this side. Right now the shade looks a smidge yellow for me, but I think I can make it work. Okay, one layer with the damp beauty blender is almost very non-existent. Like if you compare the sides, it took away some of the redness, but there's a lot of dark circle poking through that I'd like to cover. Other side here, I'm going to use a Sephora Collection Kabuki brush. I'm going to need more product, so I did another pump. So we're at 3 pumps right now. It's about average for a full face. I do think the brush side actually gave me quite a bit more coverage than the sponge side, so I'm just going to go in with a little more on this side to even it out and see how it builds over itself. Take a little bit more product here, like maybe half a pump there. It's got a very watery and pretty thin consistency. I was just happy I wasn't like the next to lightest shade or the lightest shade in the range. I'm actually like 3 or 4 shades in, so that's pretty cool. And now I'm going to take just a little bit to kind of build it up just where I feel like I need a little bit of extra help. And then I'm just going to let that set a few minutes, and we're going to come back and see if we need to set it with a powder, which I probably will because I usually set my foundation. It's looking ever so slightly light right now, and it's got way more of like a natural finish. It's not super matte and it's not super dewy, so I'm just going to give that a couple minutes and I'll be right back. It is 9:47. I'm going to call that our first check-in time. It kind of dried down to like a powder consistency. It's not very sticky. I think if you weren't super oily, you would not have to set this, which is great. I, however, am going to set it because I am pretty oily. I do think it may have gotten a smidge darker and oxidized a little bit. Before setting right now, it looks pretty good over my pores in person. However, it is starting, I don't know if you can really catch it on camera when I turn my head, but it's settling in the fine lines on my forehead a little bit. We'll wear it throughout the day and see what happens. I'd be afraid to put a third layer on to try to build it up to full because I think it would start to look cakey through my pores and here on my forehead. So right now we're sitting at medium coverage, natural, more satin finish, more natural looking coverage as well. And I feel like this would right now be a very good everyday foundation, but not really good if you have a whole bunch of texture or a lot to cover. So the time is now 10:12. Again, don't know if you can see that, but it's 10:12 in the morning. I've got the rest of my face applied. I went with very minimal makeup today. Honestly, I just really wanted to film my first impressions on the new Fenty foundation and highlighter. I really wasn't feeling a whole lot of makeup today, so I just went with a really glossy lip, no eyeshadow, nice put together face. So the last step I have to do before I set my face is we're going to test out this highlighter. The packaging on this, I just want to say, is adorable. I have mine in the shade Mean Money and Hustla Baby, and I just have to smile when I say that because it's my face. I don't know, it's funny. Hustla Baby, it's funny. But it's a highlighting duo. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch both of them. The packaging is like this really pretty, you can't really, I don't know if you can really tell on camera. It's like this really pretty pearlescent white honeycomb shape, and it just says Fenty Beauty on the top. This bright gold one here looks to be Hustla Baby. And then this one right here looks to be Mean Money. It's more of a softer champagne looking shade. I'm going to go ahead and swatch those. This one is Mean Money on my finger here. And this one is Hustla Baby. Oh my god, that's gorgeous. So I am just going to swatch these on my wrist. They feel really soft. Mean Money feels a little bit more finely milled than Hustla Baby, but Hustla Baby up here looks to have a little more pigment payoff. And this is Mean Money. Really softly right down there. They're both very reflective, but Hustla Baby almost seems to have more of a foiled finish, and they're both kind of in the gold family, but I really kind of want to try the bold one to see if I could pull it off. It almost looks too gold for my skin tone, so I'm going to go ahead and try that. I'm picking it up here on a Royal and Lang Nickel fan brush, so this is what it looks like on there. I'm going to do a tap, and then I'm just going to pop that here on the cheekbones. Oh my goodness, girl. Look at that. And it is straight gold, but there's not any like chunky glitter or anything in it, so it's really not emphasizing my pores. It just looks like a really nice sheen. That is gorgeous. I'm just going to take it up here around my eyebrow, make a little C shape like I normally do. That is freaking amazingly gorgeous. I love that. So I'm going to go in next with the tapered brush on the other side. So I'm going to have to go in on this side and intensify it to even it up. It's blending out like a dream on top of everything, and it's not really emphasizing my texture too much, which is what I really look for in a highlighter. Because foundation, the jury's still out. Highlighter, 100% go get it. I'm going to do a check-in later probably. It is right now 10:21. I actually have to be getting ready to go. So I hope you guys are just as excited for the launch of Fenty Beauty as I am. I'm excited to test these out, and I'll check in with you later. So it is the end of the night here. It is currently, let's see, 10:39 in the evening. This foundation has been on for about 13 hours now. So it's had a pretty good run, I would say. If I'm looking here really close, let me go ahead and just zoom you guys in. I don't know if you can tell around my nose on camera too much, but in person it is really kind of looking cakey here around the corner of my nose, and here on my chin. I think the foundation is finally starting to break down. I think that's what I'm seeing that makes it look a little bit textured or cakey. It has creased quite a bit here in the lines on my nose, which I usually don't really have a problem in that area. But if I take my finger like I just did and blend it out, it'll go away. And there's definite creasing here on my forehead. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but right here on my forehead, it's like caked on this blemish that's kind of dried up and healing right now, to where it looks really textured in that area. So actually on most of the areas where I've had some blemish troubles is where it seems to look cakey, like right here in the crease of my nose where I've got a big zit, and right here. So this might not do so well for long-term wear over top of healing acne. It's also creasing in the fine lines under my eyes, but again, if I reach down here I can kind of blend it out, so it's not the end of the world. My pores through here do look a little enlarged. As the day went on and my oils came through, it's almost like the foundation got heavier. Like I could really tell I had it on at first, but after having it on, I'd say about halfway through my day, I could really feel it. Like I was just driving in the car and I thought, man, my face feels kind of tight and it feels kind of heavy. And I think that was just this foundation's version of kind of trying to keep me more matte. I think it was somehow almost suppressing the oils or like absorbing them, and that's what was making it feel so heavy, because it's like it felt heavier than what it did when I first put it on, which is highly unusual. Usually I don't really feel that way with foundations, even ones that are more like medium to full coverage. Like I don't feel like this kind of heavy. So maybe it was just me. It also could have been maybe it didn't really agree with the primer that I used, which was the e.l.f. Blemish Control Primer. That's always an option. Highlighter held up really well throughout the day. They blended fine when I put them on this foundation as well, so I appreciate that. So I think overall, I think this is a really good foundation for the price. It's cheaper than a lot of other foundations that they have at Sephora, and I think it held up a lot better than many drugstore foundations that I've tried. I'm not sure if I'll repurchase once I'm out of this bottle. Like I said, this is just an initial impressions and wear test. I kind of want to wear this a few more times and feel it out. Maybe I'll post an update video. At the moment, I feel like it's just average. I don't really love it. I don't really hate it. I think the color looks good, even though it did oxidize to be my right shade. I actually had to swatch it in the Sephora and wait and let it oxidize. So this is an oxidizing foundation, but once I found the shade that oxidized to be the right color for me, I think the shade range is phenomenal. There's freaking 40 foundations in this shade range. So I think with all of that being said, price, shade range, how it kept me mostly matte throughout the day, but not like super matte, and it did wear, I think, fairly well for having been 13 hours. Like most foundations are not meant to be worn for 13 hours. I would probably give this like a 5 out of 5. I think it's a good foundation. I think this could be a staple for a lot of people. I think it could be a very good everyday foundation because it's so natural looking and just kind of light, especially when you first put it on, even though it did get a little heavier on me throughout the day. I think that this is a really good foundation. I think if you were wanting to get a good everyday foundation to try out, that this would be a good one to try, especially because the coverage was buildable and it lasted a really long time on me before it started to look this broken down. And even at the 13-hour mark, it's really not looking that bad. Like I've had some look way worse in a shorter amount of time than this one did. This one held up really well. So those are my final thoughts on the foundation. And the highlighter, I think it's an A++. I love that. I think I like that even more than the foundation, honestly. If I had to choose between the two, I would definitely go with the highlighter instead of the foundation. I like the foundation, but I like this more. This is freaking gorgeous and worth every penny. I hope you guys find this video helpful. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them down below, and I would appreciate it if you went ahead and liked and subscribed to my channel. I'll definitely be posting more videos like this in the future, and I will see you guys next time here on YouTube land. Bye!